Welcome to Phonics Lesson 52. Today we're going to do a little warm-up with different kinds of sentences. We're going to work on two special sounds and learn, actually review, how to add suffixes to different kinds of words and do our puppy dog dictation, and I'll explain anything you might have trouble with on the back side of your paper. So get your front ready. It should look like this. It doesn't have any pictures today. Well, I tell you what, if you look on the back, you will see a map of Australia. So that is page 103. So go and get that, or hopefully you have it already. I'm going to do a little warm up of sentences. Will you make the symbol for what kind of sentence you think it is? If you think it ends with a period because it's declarative, go boink. If you think it's interrogative, go whoop, boink, and make a question mark in the air. And if you think it's exclamatory, then go whoop, boink. All right, let's see how you do. Do you know what koalas look like? Whoop, boink. Koalas are not really bears. Boink. A koala sleeps up to 20 hours a day. Whoop, boink. How many hours do you sleep? Whoop, boink. A baby koala is called a joey. Boink. When an animal, let me read that again. What an amazing animal the koala is. Whoop, boink. All right, did you get them all right? I hope so. Today we're going to work on the special sound in phone and in chorus. Let's talk about PH sounding like an F. Now, most words that you hear, it is an F. So there are an exceptionally few words with PH. I don't have all of them on the back of this card, but here's some of them. So we just have to kind of remember which have PH. Read them with me. Ready? Phrase, nephew, phonics, photograph, alphabet, elephant. Remember that funny poem we had about the elephant, Ella Telephony? You might want to find that in your handbook and read it to your parents. It's hysterical, isn't it? Oh, is there any boy that's a nephew? If you have an aunt and uncle, then you are their nephew. We usually don't say photographs. Usually we just use the word photo. Do you have a photo of you when you were little, when you were a baby? I like the photo of Colton's little new baby brother. Let's look at the CH words. It really sounds just like a C. You can't hear the H at all. And again, there are just select words that have this. Most words that sound like they have K, it's either C or K. All right, here we go. Two vowels. When there are two vowels in a word, what? First one says it's long sound, second one is silent. What is this? Ache. Now this one is an exception. It only has one vowel, but it's long. Christ. Echo. Did you get to learn about the echo? Did you watch that little science video about the echo last week? That was pretty cool. Schoolhouse. Scheme. That means a plan. Usually it's referring to maybe a deceitful plan, a scheme. Chrome. Does your parents' car or truck have any chrome? Maybe on the bumper, maybe holding the mirror. All right, on your paper, you have some words that you're going to try to add that to. But let's look up at these here first, and this might give you some hints also. And so we're going to circle the special sounds we find in these words. Will you read them with me? Alphabet. There it is in phone. Gopher. The O is long, and there's in phone again. Gopher is an animal, and it's usually a little furry animal, like a woodchuck or a groundhog. But there's also the gopher tortoise, which digs holes in the ground, and that's why it's called a gopher tortoise, but it's actually tortoise. not a furry animal. A tortoise is a reptile like a turtle. But tortoises do not go in the water. So if you see one, don't try to return it to the lake. It'll drown. All right, we're not supposed to pick up the gopher tortoises because they're protected by law also. All right, here we've got echo. Oh, there it is. There's that word, echo. Echo. And there's our cut and chorus. And we've got two vowels. So this one is ache. Oh, I've got a headache. Oh, I've got a belly ache. I hope you don't. I don't. All right. And this one, there's the CH that says character. Now, we really haven't learned. This looks like actor, but it's pronounced character. And next week is going to be character chapel for reliable. And it is so difficult for me to pick someone. It really is. All of you are doing a great job. So remember, I can't pick everyone and I only have so many months. That each month I only get one choice. All right, let's continue on. In section 1, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to see how many of the PH or CH you can fill in, and then we'll talk about the answers. Ready? Go. Stop. Let's see how you did. The first one is Joseph, PH. The next one is Christ, capital C with an H. The next one is ache with CH. The next one is dolphin with PH. That was probably the hardest one. Dolphin. The next one is echo with CH. And the next one is gopher with PH. And hold on, my phone is ringing. All right, I'm back. We're going to work on adding suffixes. Remember our little jingle? The root word is the word we begin with, word we begin with, word we begin with. The root word is the word we begin with. The suffix goes at the end. So we're going to remember, if you look at your bone where it says remember, when a root word ends with a single consonant and the vowel is short, the consonant is usually doubled before adding a suffix beginning with a vowel. Now, we had a little song jingle that we were using to help us remember that. Like, remember it, just think of being glad. Glad has one D, but this is what's true. Gladder and gladdest have two. So we know that if it has one consonant, if a root word ends with one consonant and the vowel is short, then we're going to double that consonant before adding a suffix when the suffix begins with a vowel. All right, so the other one was, we learned when a root word ends with a silent E, the E is usually dropped before adding a suffix beginning with a vowel. So if you look on my board, I have 3 suffixes. All of them begin with vowels, so they could be tricky. Not necessarily, but they could be. So we have to be careful whenever we're adding a suffix that begins with what? A vowel. We're going to start with spin. And if we add ing, what are we going to have to do? Well, let's look at it. It ends with one consonant and the vowel is short. So, short. So we say, spin has one N, but this is what's true. Spinning and spinner have 2. All right, so we're going to put spinning with 2 N's, and we're going to put spinner with 2 N's also. We don't have one for ED because there's no such word as spend, and sometimes that'll happen. We don't say I spinned around, or you might, but it's not correct. We say I spun around. So we have to be careful with that. Now, let's look at flip. We're going to go through these just as practice, and then we're going to do the ones on your paper. I'm going to let you do most of those on your own, and then I'm going to check them when you turn in your work. All right, so we've got, oh, there we go, one consonant, and the vowel is short. So we've got flip has one P, but this is what's true. Flipping and flipped and flipper have two. Now, remember we talked about how there was a case where you might think you're going to double, but you don't. We talked about the word soft. I think that one is a good example because it has two consonants. Even though the vowel is short, we would not double the T to add ER. And my board's kind of slippery. That doesn't look too good. But softer is an example where we would not double the consonant. So I told you sometimes you're not going to need to double anything or drop anything, but you just have to watch out for it. All right, here we go. And after you get really good at it, it'll just become second nature and it won't be so hard. But right now you really have to stop and think when you're adding suffixes. Let's look at Wade. Oh yes, it's got two vowels. It's got a silent E. So what are we going to do? We're going to drop the silent E. So here we go. Wading, no E. Waded, I waded in the water. And it's going to have one E, but not two, because we dropped the one on the end. And then wader, I was, well, that one's not going to really be a word. I was a wader in the water. I don't know. Okay, so let's just do those two. Now, look at your paper. Add suffixes to make new words in section 2. So on phoning, what would you do? That's right, it's got a silent E. So you would drop the silent E and just add the ing. Now you need to write the whole word when we do this, not just the suffix or whatever. You got to write the whole word. Okay, how about flap? To make it flapping. We've got one consonant and the vowel is short. That's right, we're going to double the P for flapping. Now I'm going to let you do the rest of those. Come back to that at the end, or you can put me on pause and do it while it's fresh in your mind. And then we have to do puppy dog dictation. So let's get working on puppy dog dictation. All right. And here we go. All right, I'm going to give you a word that has 3 special sounds, and you are going to write 3 special sounds right here. Here we go. Cranked, cranked. All right, you should have written C-R, A-N-K, and E-D. A lot of you are having trouble with the ones with A and K and A and G in them. They are a little trickier. Cranked, cranked. All right, that's our first 3 blanks. The next 2 blanks, write 2 special sounds for the word golden, golden. Did you hear old and gold? That was not as hard, was it? Did you hear N and sharpen? Golden. There's your answers for that. All right. I hope you're trying to listen carefully and get these before I write them on the board. Okay, the next one you're going to write words. The first word is, now this is not a name. This is not the name of Abel's brother. This is like what you would use to help you walk if you hurt your ankle or if you're old and you're not very steady. Cane, cane. Or it could also be like a candy cane. Did you write C-A-N-E? 2 vowels. The E, the silent E is on the end, and we know it starts with a C. Why? Because C goes with the other 3, A, O, and U, and we have an A there. All right, the next word is kicking. Now notice that has a suffix, so you're going to want to get the root word first, and then think if you're supposed to change anything in the root word when you're adding the suffix, and then add the suffix. Kicking. All right, let's see if you got what I got. I started it with a K because I heard the short I. And because it's a short I know the K sound has to be CK because C and K are best friends after a short vowel. And I've got two consonants here. So even though the vowel is short, do I need to double? No, because I've already got two consonants. So I only double if there's only one consonant. So I'm going to go ahead and put my suffix there. And I'm doing it in print instead of cursive because I think it's just easier for you to read, especially since my board is kind of slippery. The last one is candy. Candy. You write it in cursive. Candy. I'm giving you about 10 seconds. If that's not enough time, then you can pause me. Candy. Again, we hear the ah, can. And so we know it's C, goes before the other three, A, O, and U. Can, D, and it has E in baby. Candy. Did you get that one? And that is not a root word with a suffix. That is just a word, and it's got E and baby at the end. All right, so finish section 2 if you have not, and on the back side, you're going to use the color key code to color the continent of Australia. And then when you're finished, you will see the states and territories of Australia. In section 2, read the story and answer the questions. Oh, this looks like an interesting story about whale sharks. Are they whales or sharks? And at the bottom, you're going to have to write how many declarative sentences, how many interrogative sentences, and how many exclamatory sentences. All right, working hard. Goodbye.